welcome to another episode of TYS Talks Poetry.
Alright, we're just gonna go with this. Welcome to Take Yourself Seriously, episode, 4 or 5, I don't know what this is. Now, we've had some stuff going on. We recently got into making fire pits. So that's been taking a lot of our evening time, since we do keep the same schedule, work together. It's kind of now not so much more difficult to sit down and set this stuff up, but there's more things we want to do.
Yeah, the fire pit is very enjoyable, very mesmerizing. It's also very calming, so after working all day, you kind of just want to sit and stare at the fire and do nothing for like a few hours.
It also reminds me of the tiny house experience. That was my first time making a fire, even though it was like, one of those fire logs, which we got now as well. But it was still very good, very cool to put together and watch it burn for 4 hours.
I never expected that you could watch a fire for that long amount of time without doing anything. And now since we've been doing the fire
Everybody does it
more regularly, we've been watching it for longer.
Yeah.
And we're not on our phones, we're not doing anything else, we're kind of just sitting, talking, watching.
Yeah, the plan is to keep it going through the winter, through just as long as possible. First topic I wanted to talk about was the tiny house. And it's becoming more real. So we are selling one of our cars. That officially
Hearing that
makes it, we're doing what we need to do in order to become more minimalistic. More minimalist in general, I think. It wasn't very minimalist when I first proposed the question. Proposed the question. When the question first posed itself.
The question of what? The tiny house?
Of whether or not, am I a minimalist? The video we did on YouTube. If you want to see it, it's on our channel. It's working now. Now that we have the more capable vehicle, and the other one just kind of sits there, we have to worry about, alternate side parking. Does it have gas, registration, oil changes, tires, consumables? And it was my third car, your first car.
Yeah.
But it's something that we can now say goodbye to, so that you can also, when we get to the point where we might need another car again, you can have the experience of choosing your own thing, whether it be used or new, whatever it is. Yeah. You get to go through that, which I think is cool. So that's a big bonus. And also thinking about the tiny house stuff, just things that would be more difficult is what I wanted to bring up. So I'm assuming if we find the right, I think the most difficult thing right now is going to be planning in the state that we live in. Here in New Jersey, it doesn't sound like it's very okay to live in a mobile home year-round, unless there are like trailer parks and stuff.
Yeah, New Jersey, it never comes up as like, oh, the state to do it in.
Yeah.
It's very, I don't know any of the laws, but...
Depends on the county. There's so many layers to it. That's going to be a big one. Toilets might be a big one, because we can be more flexible with how we live. Given that, we have a 2-door Jeep, so we can't tow as much as, let's say, even like a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Or the Jeep pickup truck, the Gladiator. But, we can still tow, but it might limit the capacity to which we can move around for a while. I'm also thinking about just having a piece of property where we can buy a tiny house already made. I think that'll, to do it for the first time, that'll save the most amount of money.
Yeah.
And we can get right into it. We can just start living, and also sell it if we needed to. And then move into a tiny home, and then build a tiny home to spec.
Tiny home community.
Yeah, tiny home community. I do like the idea of like a homestead more. I think it's less cultish and more like a homestead. Yeah. Because there was this couple in this tiny house video that I was watching where they said there were more outdoor areas, like the kitchen and the bedrooms weren't connected before, because you had more land. There was more people and stuff.
Yeah, and with that, you don't actually need as much land. with a tiny house.
Yeah. So I am looking into coding, which I was a while back, but it sort of resurfaced in a new way now, and that's sort of been on the back burner because of all the damn fires that we're putting.
Yeah, we almost made one tonight.
Yeah, we still might.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I keep thinking about it as something to relate to this experience, because I'm able to take notes and follow along and sort of take my own path to learn, let's say, coding in a sense on the JavaScript language or Python or whatever it may be. But to take my time with that, because I do think that I should, maybe I do want to build an app. Maybe I do want to have a more customized website for this that we're working on now. And maybe I do want, just to start a small side business where it's not a career necessarily to start coding, but I can create something still on a different level. And it's always been interesting to me. I just didn't know how to apply it. And the more and more I kind of dive in, the more it just makes sense. It's very simple. And it's like math. Math is a very simple idea. It's just when, you start having other problems that it gets more complicated.
So how are you doing with that? Because I know you've been looking into it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of we're kind of in this lull right now.
Yeah, well,
the
big thing is we're selling the car. We're kind of it's been very stressful.
It's an in-between time.
It's an in-between, and I feel like we always go through these times where we're immobile. Over the Labor Day weekend, it just held up so many things, and it was so nobody would believe us if we told them the story from start to finish of how we got the car and the next car and moving on to this situation now. It just seems like a lot to go over. The last I left on, I have notes. The last I left on, I was after this, so sort of following a guide, and then I hoped to take as much from these introductory courses as possible. I installed my first coding app. So I put some stuff. I put a website together. I did a live server. It's interesting. I'm gonna have more for next week. I just have to put some time together. I need to schedule it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing everybody always says is anything you want to do, it's you have to have these blocks of time.
Yeah, that's one of the big recommendations I'm saying is if you're gonna work in coding, you have to have 3 to 4 hours in chunks of time.